everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival, where we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. We are coming to you live from the Sedona Rouge Hotel. Sedona Rouge Hotel and Spa is one of our sponsors, along with Digitech and Black Magic Design, so we would like to thank them. And I have the pleasure of introducing you all to Adam Morse and Billy Zane of the film Lucid. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank you
so
for having
wonderful
us.
to have you.
So good to be. What a pleasure. We only realized last night how fitting a film about lucid dreaming premiering in Sedona was. It just didn't register until we passed a number of healing centers, and you know, we thought, this is logical. It
was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely, and this
for
is
a
your
North American premiere.
I was getting ready to say that this is your North American premiere for us, and you did win an award in England, correct? Was there a
Yes, Billy won the Best Actor award, the Gold Movie Awards in London.
You won Best Director.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Best Picture. It was nice.
Yeah. So how does the Gold Awards compare to like the Oscars or like
It's just the same. It's identical, on par. It's actually more significant.
Definitely so.
No.
And you were awarded here in Sedona last night.
Which clearly, advanced beyond even the Oscars. But that I have to say that placard was stunning, and the phrasing or what the I should have brought it. Actually, I'm going to carry it everywhere from now on. Like a utility belt, it looks like
a prize fighter.
A prize fighter belt. It's like, that's right. Lifetime achievement. It didn't say that, thank goodness, which does seem to age you a little bit. I appreciate everyone skirting around the term lifetime achievement. It sounds like you're done. Certainly old.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Career something. I can't remember what exactly the term was. But yes, thank you so much. It was very touching, and how it had focused upon projects of cause and merit, which is really the highest use of the medium since the Greeks, really. What's the function of this theater? And which is what I love about Adam's film that he wrote and directed so beautifully.
Well deserved.
Oh, what?
Your award.
Well, made so only more so by being in, your very cool, very sensitive, big movie about a very little thing. It's a big thing, but it was something that we really seem to, perhaps take for granted. It's simply the journey of a young man's first kiss. I know that sounds quite simple, but a kind of crushed character who's on meds and spends a bit too much time indoors gaming and doesn't have the social skills to engage the object of his desire, let alone his parents or the general public, is given a tool set and instruction by a neighbor who I play, who is kind of a dream therapist, who teaches him to lucid dream and conquer his frailties and vulnerabilities and his fear, fundamentally, in dream state, and in order for it to take hold in waking state. And it's epic as a result. It's so small yet so significant and big. It's really
I thought it was a well done movie. A lot of people were, some people were confused like watching it, and so I said I think that was like the point, because at any given point you never knew if you were in the dream or not in the dream. So I mean that's what I felt like, and especially like towards the end I'm like, was that a dream or was was that really happening? So those were the questions that were going through my head when I was watching the film. Is that the point that you were trying to make?
I tried to use clues, breadcrumbs here and there, to scatter them around. Little touches like symbolic colours, and I mean the gold suit is a big giveaway. When he's in the club, when he's in control of the dream, he's wearing the gold suit. He's the man. He's the boss. And then he regresses back into his little green parking lot uniform most of the time when he's losing handle on his lucidity, but.
All the markers are there. I've seen it a couple times. If you're confused,
It
Sorry.
is something
Yeah,
you
no.
can
If you,
read.
if you kind of liked it, I wish you liked it more.
No, I liked it. I
Happy
really
to be
liked
here though
it.
and talk about it or try to convince you
No, there's
that
no
it's
convincing
better
at
than
all.
you think it is.
Yeah,
It is.
no.
It's better than she thinks.
I did not say that. I said I liked the movie. I said at the end it was just trying to figure out if, just like all endings
Yeah.
of all movies, just try to figure out if the ending is what are you trying to communicate with that, and if it's a dream. So that's what I was trying to communicate.
Yeah, there's there's definitely opportunity to go back, revisit it, and see what isn't discovered first time around. It's a movie you can rewatch again and again. Like the people that have seen it multiple times enjoy it more the second time, third time, because you pick up on the little nuances and the signals that show you when he's in a dream and when he's not. But ultimately, for me, it's not about telling the audience this is waking
Right.
life, this is dream. It's open for you guys to decide, and
I think it's clear. I don't know. It never seemed like it was. Sorry to disagree. I mean, when I first saw it, it seemed, as complex as our dreams. Sometimes you have a nightmare, right? Sometimes you have a lovely dream. Sometimes you have a flying dream. Are all your dreams consistent? No, they're inconsistent. So, why was he confident in one dream, and why did it suddenly turn while he was in the dream? Dreams turn. But all the markers and the visual references you made are there and might require review.
There's the one scene where Zell goes to you, confused, and I feel like that's definitely a scene where I wanted the audience to be confused with Zell.
Yeah.
Because you're going through this journey, this life-changing week with him. But the rest of the time, the intention was to, I guess, ground everything in where it was meant to feel and be. Yeah.
Right. And Adam, I think I saw an interview with you that someone had asked, was this like a life experience? Was this something that you kind of tapped into your own life to develop this film?
Yeah, absolutely. I had that job. I worked in a parking lot. It wasn't for a members club; it was a supermarket. But I sat there in a booth, bored out my mind on autopilot. I had that same nasty manager boss supervising me, and all the meanwhile I was daydreaming about someone. I was chasing that girl. I mean, she looked different and had a different name, but a lot of Zell, all of Zell's experiences, to be honest, were my own. So that's where it comes from.
Do you remember your first kiss?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when I saw the film. It was like just bringing back to that moment in time when that was the first kiss, because that's really what he was waiting for.
Yeah, and to be honest, mine wasn't as special as Zell's. You have to embellish, obviously.
Naturally.
But yeah, it's what you do, I guess, storytelling.
Right. Now, in doing this film, I also understand that you kind of tapped into other senses that you have. So explain to us about one of the senses that you do not have anymore.
Well, I have partial sight. I'm actually registered blind. My eyesight started deteriorating 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in April, actually, when the deterioration started. And I was 19 at the time. And over the course of about 12 months, my central vision left, my optic nerve was dying as a result of a rare mitochondrial disease, and I'm left with what I have now. And
Which is really cool style, and a little bit of kind of like a rapper.
This is all I have. It's helped me. It's been a blessing because it's really given me an expansion of other mental capacities, like my memory, things I like, my telepathic abilities, being able to just be more sensitive to energy and people and going off vibrations more than like physical face value and judging people on how they look. It's more how they make me feel and how I feel in a situation, and I react and operate in that way and just kind of maneuver around, my life in a very instinctive kind of way of just how I feel. And it's the same with how I work. When I take it into making a film, working with Billy and the actors, I might not be focusing on a minute detail of a frame. I mean, this is pretty much the same size as my monitor. Yeah. I might need to borrow
But he
this for my film.
stands this far away from it, though, in order to...
Yeah, I have to get pretty close, and my nose is pretty much touching the glass, and I'm building an aesthetic, and I'm trying to, I frame my own shots. I decide where I want to position the camera, how I want to move the camera, But you know, if there's something in the background, my AD spots, or you know, a prop that doesn't look right, my art department, I'm relying on my team for all of that. For me, it's more about just connecting with, you know, more of you know, the feeling of the frame, and also more than anything, what you know, the talent and you know, the actors, and working with them. And that's when I'm in my best element, to be honest. I feel like, you know, working with them. So it's really, I think, given me an advantage that other directors don't have, where, you know, I'm working on that instinctive level of how I feel about a shot, and obviously I've got that.
And rhythm.
Yeah.
The rhythm and the pacing of the dialogue I found was so nuanced and comforting and refreshing. You know, all the scenes, and you know, never too belabored, but just like you gave the space for in your edit as well. And I guess in your casting, you chose people who took the comfort and time to have you know, to think about their actions and words. And it was you know, I wouldn't say hypnotic, but it had a very comforting pace, and that might have been the heightened audio sensibility that you have that led to that. I don't know.
No, you were surprised. You did not know this, actually, going into the film.
No, he didn't tell anyone. He couldn't have funded his movie if he told people he was blind director, first movie. It's not going to happen. It's hard enough getting a movie made unless without saying you're blind. Excuse me. However, when the monitor appeared on set that was literally that big, and he was inches from it, by the second or third day, I realized something's afoot. You know, like I don't quite use. That's odd. And then his producer, you know, confided. Says
I
it
was
can be a problem.
surprised that no one else had their suspicions, because I didn't tell anyone. I mean, look, my DP knew. There was a couple of people in the team, but you know, the rest of the entire crew were none the wiser. My cast, even. I mean, I was working with them, and I was thinking they're wondering why I'm getting so close, having to talk to them and stuff. But day one, my hair and makeup designer, I could hear her behind me, but I'm like this, you know, in the screen. Yeah, look how close he gets. He really cares, doesn't he? Of course I care. That's not the reason why I'm this close. I need to be this close to try and...
Meticulous.
Yes. And then, you know...
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then one of our investors came and said, you know, you've got a great attention to detail. I see how close you get to the screen. And, you know, I like to think that I do have an attention to detail still, but... Yeah, it's just the way I have to work, you know, and to be honest, I wouldn't change it. I was talking to someone about this the other day. There's no treatment or cure for my condition. If you were to come to me now with something to change who I am, I wouldn't snap your hand off. I feel very happy in my life, who I am, and I really genuinely, honestly feel blessed to have this condition, because it does feel like a superpower. I don't feel disabled. I feel enabled in my life to do amazing things, and I really feel like I can do anything. I mean, I'm obviously...
Except drive.
Well, you know, I'm quite inspired by...
Hate to bring it down.
Mr. Pacino in Scent of a Woman. I'd like to give it a crack, maybe.
Well, I think you're such an inspiration, and that's one of the things that you were talking about to, you know, audience specifically, that, you know, you do have this, but you're looking at it as a positive experience, and also in that experience, you've helped your brother, who also has this, and your brother's music was also in the film, correct?
Yeah, he's also blind. He has the same condition as me. We're 3 years apart, so when I was 19, Jake was 16. And the strange thing is, even though it's a hereditary disease, and only females carry the gene, by the way, so it's come from my mother's side of the family. We've traced it back, you know, down the family tree. No one's ever had this. You can look back centuries. No one's had any, you know, condition of this nature, but it woke up in me and my brother at the exact same time, and that's not random. You know, he's 3 years younger. When I started losing my sight, he started losing his at the same time. Wow. And he's 3 years younger than me. And that's the universe telling us something. You know, it happened for a reason. He has come a long way, because, look, you know, it was difficult for both of us to kind of readjust. I mean, I'm still, you know, every day is still a struggle, I'm not going to lie. But you know, you get by, and you just kind of, I don't know, enjoy these daily hallucinations of, you know, the brain putting in what's not there, the missing information. Jake, he's a great guitarist, you know. He's such a skilled musician, and you know, he doesn't need his sight to be able to navigate the fretboard and rock out on the guitar. His piece that's in the film is at such a special moment as well, where Zell and Kat, you know, they really connect on such a level, and there's beautiful montage, and yeah, I'm really proud to hear Jake's music in the film.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and you're such an inspiration to him too, so I think that's really great to hear your story and to share that with other people, because people look at their disabilities and feel like that they can't do anything. And, you know, and looking at what you're doing, it just makes us all, like, think about what are we doing that we need to move forward and, you know.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, Billy, what was it like being in this particular film?
Curiously, like, you know, any other quality experience that this condition did not alter any of the process for me. Mm-hmm. We still had a shorthand. We, you know, found things that we loved and discovered beautiful accidents together that we thought would, you know, enhance the narrative and deepen the character. It was identical to a quality outing. And I mean that in the best, you know, sense of the word. It was unique, but it wasn't. I really enjoy the result, and I can see it objectively, which is maybe why I'm so, you know, defensive of it. And it's not pandering to a condition. It's not looking out for my buddy. It's like this, you know, sight, no sight. I think it's an important movie because it addresses, you know, a malaise in our culture right now, which is, you know, the broken boy, and, you know, when they act out, you know, almost every school shooter is on meds, you know, spends too much time alone, does not have a skill set or a roadmap or understand how to, you know, communicate, you know, with the outside world, let alone a girl, you know, and I personally have a feeling that, you know, a lot of the foundation in our culture was assisted by the canon of classic cinema, which seems to have missed generations of first-person shooter gamers because their parents weren't exposed to the AFI 100 or weren't raised on MGM or don't know who, you know, Gene Kelly is, Joie de Vivre, you know, the beauty of what the, you know, at least just even the American narrative, let alone the world cinematic narrative where, you know, a moral compass is defined. This was the function. This was cinema at its highest, was to teach us, it's where we go, how to learn how to be. Mm-hmm. And in the kind of postmodern anti-hero universe, I think we've lost our poets. We've lost our poetry. We've lost our, you know, our when awkward is elevated to aspiration, you know, it just lowers the bar. So we've got kids who aren't awkward, striving to be awkward, because this image of awkward is being celebrated on every commercial, let alone TV show, let alone film. This is where they're going, oh, I have to be awkward in order to be, you know, that's my archetype. You know, and it's like, no, it's like, you know, it's not. Exceptionalism seems to have gone out of fashion. And when you see, you know, in like the best of the human condition in either dance or, you know, romance or, you know, poetry or whatever, these things are lost. So anyway, we see these casualties, and I think Zell is a casualty of our times, you know. It's fundamentally it's parenting. Either, you know, they don't know what they're not giving them, or they do, and it's just even more diabolical. But you have these casualties who are just left to bounce off the daily life like a pinball, and either, you know, find themselves in deep trouble causing harm to others, or just simply stay in a self-perpetuating, you know, life of misery and unfulfilled promise. And this is a roadmap. This shines a light on a very simple thing. A young man who hasn't been kissed. How does he achieve that? How does he get the moxie? I keep going back to that wonderful line about, that Robin Williams said in Dead Poets Society, a film that many young people have not seen, nor have heard of, nor even probably remember Robin Williams, But, his line about, poetry, how to woo a woman everyone wants, to be loved and make some cash money, fundamentally. We're not so unique, But the roadmap to a young man in particular is critical. And I just thought the significance of this simple tale exists on a very grand and epic scale, and it's very important to me.
I think it's easy not to try. It's easy to pretend like you don't care,
Right.
and maybe it has become a trend where, not to give a, and I think,
He's English. He likes to swear. You can say it.
I had to, do I have to censor myself?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good thing I did.
You did. You did good there.
Between you, me, and the fence post, that's some off-color language there, mister.
But there's definitely, I think, something to recognize in what Billy's saying about, this new generation, the next generation, just to, I guess, protect the ideals of, okay, let's be ambitious, let's be motivated, let's put ourselves out there in the world, and let's open up who we are, and not try and conform to, what's cool, whether that's, being awkward or being cynical or whatever. I don't know, what it is this week, what's meant to be the thing. But I think, like, if you can just be yourself and just own who you are, you know what I mean? That's the coolest thing. And people recognize that. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are. That's something that's magnetic. You feel when someone is just like comfortable in their skin and they're like, this is who I am, take me or leave me. You know what I mean? And as long as they're, they're humble and they're kind and they're good natured, everything else that comes with that, their style or whatever, their beliefs, that's by the by, you know what I mean? And I think that with Zell's journey in Lucid, it definitely gives permission for people to be different, like Zell, and not have to chase whatever, the cover of today's magazine is.
Truth, authenticity, and integrity.
Yeah, I agree.
Three rules to live by.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you both for being with us and letting us premiere the American part of your film, Lucid. And Billy, thank you so much for participating and being here in Sedona as well. It's such a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
And you have hopefully taught a lot of people, Adam, a very, very important lesson. So I hope people just listen to what you're saying and really move forward in their own lives and achieve goals, because nothing really should stop us from achieving our dreams.
No excuses.
Yeah. So thank you both for being with us.
It was
Thank
our
you
pleasure.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's an honor. It's really an honor to
It
be
was,
here.
and
Thank
to
you.
premiere here again is no strange coincidence. It's just, it's really so fitting. We keep reflecting on how how wonderfully timed and what a nice indicator that was as a point of entree. We're so grateful. So thank you for having us, truly.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're lucky to have you both at the Sedona International Film Festival. That's our 25th anniversary.
Yeah,
so
on
it's
that
a
note,
big celebration.
that's so thrilling.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank you.
to the next 25.
Thank you.
Here's
And we
to
hope
that.
that you'll be back. And we're expecting another film from you. So, and I know you're going to be in a film that we actually are going to get back.
We'll come. We said we'd bring it.
Yes, okay. So
We're
we may
coming.
see you next year, actually.
That's true.
Awesome. Well, it'd be great to have you back. So thank you both for being with us. And we will be back with more from the Sedona International Film Festival after this.